Kimbra, it's 36 degrees. What are you doing?
Cold.
Yes, it's cold. What are you doing?
I'm walking outside in the cold.
Why are you dressed like that?
Because I'm getting in the water.
It's 36 degrees. It's Florida. What? Why is it 36 degrees? Wait a minute. I know why it's 36 degrees in Florida. Because these Wisconsin people brought the cold down.
I thought I saw snowflakes this morning, but then I realized it was actually bugs in the light.
Look, we are about to go swim with the man. Oh, I put the camera on upside down. We are about to go swim with some manatees in 36 degree. Well, it won't be 36 degree water. We'd all be dead. But it'll be 72 degree water. So here we go. So here we are. We took a little boat ride. Sun's just coming up. It's actually dark when we got here. We had to wait. And you can see the steam coming off of the water. Right? That's steam. It's fog. Mist. Precipitation.
I think it's called steam.
Yeah, it's because the water is warmer than the air. And you see all those things. Those are called footprints, even though they're not feet. They don't have feet.
They're back prints.
Back prints and flipper prints. Those are all the manatees. There were a few. And then we finally got in the water. It's still a little dark in the beginning here, but we lightened the footage up a little so you can begin to see our manatee experience.
He's right in your face, Matt.
That happened a lot.
Yes, it
So
did.
if you go to Crystal River, you too can have this experience with the manatees. The rules are you're not allowed to go up to them. You're not allowed to disturb them. You have to be quiet. You have to be peaceful. But the reality is, if they come up to you, you can interact with them. And they will likely come up to you. Every time I've done this, they've come up to me, but never like this particular time. I mean, you're just about to see a lot of manatee interaction here. In fact, it was hard to get the camera far enough away. I think Mallory and Andrew had issues because they were trying to take pictures and they were too close.
They love belly rubs.
They do. If they roll over like that, a lot of times they'll do that. You'll start to scritch them on the back, and then they'll roll over so that you'll give them a belly rub. Now the water's not super clear. When I've been here in the past, it's been much clearer. I don't know what's going on with Crystal River. We talked to one of our local dive shops, Woods and Water, and he asked about the visibility, and I was like, it's Crystal River, it's clear. But yeah, I mean, we were the first people in the water. There was nobody else here, and the viz was not ideal. I mean, it was fine for this because you don't need 50 foot of visibility when the manatee's like a foot away from you. But for scuba diving, there's other springs that are clear, as you saw in maybe one of our previous videos or one of our future videos. You'll see it too.
But this manatee really wanted the attention.
Yeah, and what you're seeing right now is sort of the same footage that we both took. You can see we both have cameras, and then we just kind of spliced into it. And so you may see a little bit of repetitive manatee footage here, but we just didn't want to get rid of any of it because the manatee was in your face.
I was just going back between you and me and bumping my arm, trying to get scrubs.
This is where, it's like, please scratch me, thank you. Like Reno does the same thing. Our
That's
dog.
true, he does.
Yeah, does the same thing. And then it's going to turn around towards me, but I think we're going to, go back to this footage here. Now, if you look closely, you can see these are mammals. They have hair, especially on their schnoz, which is called vibrissae, kind of whiskers. Their skin is very rough. Their closest relatives are elephants. So they're not pachyderms like elephants, but that's their closest thing. They're really in their own group. The sirens, Sirenidae, there are dugongs, there are some different species of manatee. That's all that's left of these guys. Aww.
He's rubbing his head.
And they can close their nostrils. You see the nostrils there. They can close them up, and then when they're ready to take a breath, they just stick their schnoz up. That's a scientific term, by the way, out of the water, and poof. That's one of the ways you can find them too. Is it's nice and quiet on the water, and then you hear that, poof. You know, kind of like D's for sea turtles. Manatees more of a. Poof.
Little nose coming out of the water, getting some air.
Gonna roll over again. The manatee twist. Now you also notice there's some stuff on the manatees' backs. Manatee are out in the salt water mostly during the warm parts of the year. Oh, there's some scars on this one. And then they get algae and they get barnacles and stuff built up. But then when they come into the fresh water in the winter, a lot of those things can't survive in the different salinity. So it'll kind of cleans them off. And you'll see, maybe in our last video you saw some fish cleaning them off as well. No. Look at that face.
I just want to grab his little nose and squish it.
Now manatee do have teeth. They have 2 rows of teeth on the top and the bottom, and they're basically like our molars. They're all like our molars. And because they're eating nothing but plants, like seagrasses and stuff, they're really grinding away at those teeth, and they kind of grind them down into nothing. So luckily for them, they keep growing new teeth. And the way it works for the manatee is they regenerate new teeth in the back of their mouth, and they keep pushing forward like a little conveyor belt of teeth. So it's pretty convenient. Now, early on when we were doing this, I was trying to be super respectful. I mean, I was the whole time, but I the manatees were coming up to me, and I was trying to kind of almost back away from them. I felt like I was in their way. And then somewhere in here, I realized that they're way more capable in the water than I am, and they could have been anywhere they wanted. They were out of the direct spring area. They were out of the preserve area. They were coming to us. So I stopped, trying to get away from them and just embraced the fact that they wanted to be close to us, which was really cool.
They really did want that interaction.
Yeah. Now, one of the cool things is that you saw the little white scarring on this manatee, probably got hit by a boat, that's not cool. That is one of the things that is very dangerous for manatee. And one of the concerns about people interacting with them in Crystal River is that they will get used to people, they'll come to the boats. But I can tell you just from anecdotal evidence, from my personal experience, having been doing this for the last 15, almost 20 years maybe, when I first started swimming with the manatees here, every manatee I saw had nasty scars. And this time, I saw hardly any scars. I've also been told by people in Crystal River that their population has been going up, not down. So that to me tells me that these interactions, when done respectfully like this, and they're very, very controlled and they're very specific and you're very closely monitored while you're doing this, they are not hurting the manatee. And I think by exposing people to manatees and getting them this experience, it's helping with manatee conservation. Maybe, dare I speculate, it's making more people aware and caring about being careful when they're have their boats going through territories and areas where manatees would be at that time. Because they have to come up and breathe air, and they're slow moving, so that makes them vulnerable to getting hit by a boat. Now don't be fooled though, they can move fast if they want to. They just don't usually want to. What did the manatee feel like to you?
It was rough, except for, of course, some of it was kind of slimy, and that was, of course, the algae and stuff growing on. But it was rough, kind of like an elephant skin, which I have touched an elephant, so you can compare. I can compare that.
You can vouch for that.
Yes. I think he was trying to eat my string there.
Maybe. I don't know. He didn't go for it though.
No, he didn't.
They do have sort of a prehensile nose that they can use to sort of grip onto things. You'll see at a clip at the very end there, kind of doing that with some of the ropes on the boat anchors and stuff. But these manatees just could not get enough of us, and we just could not get enough of them. Now, like we said earlier, the air temperature was in the 30s. It got up to, I think, the 40s maybe when we got out. But the water temperature where we are right here is actually 68 degrees. But the spring, which is why the manatee are here, is 72. Now, 68 is their cutoff. So I'm thinking, they're over here in their limit of this is the coldest water we're willing to tolerate because they wanted to be by us. And I would say I was kind of the same. It's like as cold as I want to tolerate.
They seemed fine though. They
were, I'm sure, yeah.
They wanted to be there.
I'm sure that 68 is fine, and then but if they were colder than that for a prolonged period, that's when they start getting pneumonia and stuff.
I mean, they can
Issues
go
with
over
that.
into that 72 degree
Very
water.
easily. It was mere feet away. Yeah. Now we are wearing a wetsuit. Well, we're wearing our own wetsuits, not just one between the two of us. That'd be weird. But I'm wearing a neoprene shirt, which is what most wetsuits are made of, and neoprene shorts, and that is measured in millimeters. So what the shorts we figured are 1.5, 2 mil, and the shirt I have on is 2.5 mil. And you're wearing a full wetsuit, right?
Yes, a full-length wetsuit, and I think it's 3 mil.
So the way the wetsuit works is the cold water pours in, and then your body heats that water up, which is trapped between the neoprene and your body, and it creates this insulated layer of water. The manatee doesn't have a lot of blubber, so that's kind of how blubber works on like a lot of marine mammals. But manatees don't have a thick layer of blubber. They look like they would, but they really don't. So that's why they need to stay in the warmer water. They got a little bit though. They got more than I have.
So you want to know my favorite fact about manatees?
Sure.
They use their flatulence to move up and down.
Their flashy flatulence.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it flashy.
Just in case somebody out there doesn't know the term flatulence. What is it? What are you talking about?
Gas.
Yeah. You may notice bubbles every now and then coming from the rear of the manatee. They are basically sea cows. They eat seagrass, and that's how you produce methane, folks, and that does help them control their buoyancy. So the more gas they have, the more they float. If they want to sink, they just fart.
That's my favorite manatee fact.
Now here you got some footage of a mama and her baby here.
Yes.
And now they're very strict, as they should be, on not getting between a mom and a baby, not interrupting them when baby's nursing. So when we see mom and baby, we give them space. If they come up to us, we just sit very still and let them do their thing. But I didn't even see this. You got it on footage on the camera, so I was glad that you got it. But you're about to see a manatee nursing off mom.
Yeah, Mallory actually pointed this out to me. She was on the other side, and she was like, Kimber, you've got to see this. So
it's pretty cute. And you notice where the manatee is suckling there, right? That's where the manatee teat is. It's on the underarm of the flipper. So that's weird. I mean, bras would be really weird looking.
Yeah, but look how cute it is.
It's pretty adorable. Now, it's a little further away, so that's why, it's a little cloudy there. But you can still see it. Had a little breakfast.
Well, I like breakfast.
You want to nurse on a manatee?
No.
Good. I'm glad, because that would be weird. There's some Mallory feet. Now, as the sun came up, it didn't really get warmer. Usually when I do this, it warms up into the 60s or low 70s, and it gets warmer. This was a cold day, which is good for manatee swimming, but not so much for, the human body. It stayed pretty chilly.
Yeah, it did.
But that made the manatees there were more of them around, and I don't know. Like I said, this is the most interaction I've ever seen. Now, because maybe of the coronavirus that's happening when we did this, there were less people out there. It was also a weekday. There's Mallory and Andrew.
Yeah. Guest stars.
But it was great because we were basically the only 4 people on this boat. There was a guide and there was the captain, and that's it. And we were the first boat there, and then some other boats arrived, but it wasn't crowded. Like, I've seen it really crowded. Then the manatees can get out of that area if they want. There's lots of spring area they can go if there's too many people. And sometimes they do that, but they didn't this time because everybody was being, really good, which, like I said, they make you watch a video about manatee manners, and there are people there that will yell at you, and if they have to, they will give you citations and fines if you do anything wrong. So they're very careful with their manatees. You can see some of the buoys there that mark the spot, and you'll see at the end of this video too, kind of an overview.
There's 4 manatees in this part of the video, right?
There are.
Yeah. That just shows how many, and that wasn't even all of them.
At one time, the captain said he counted like
12.
12, yeah.
Right around the boat.
Yeah, there's more, because there's more over there.
Yeah.
Look to the left there. Got a little something in your teeth. Now here's my favorite part, the manatee kiss. Yes, I was kissed by a manatee.
And he liked it so much more than kisses from me.
What's the song? I kissed a manatee and I liked it?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
You don't know why, you don't know how, until you get kissed by the sea cow. That was as good as I could do on the fly.
That was not bad.
Now, the eyes of the manatee are interesting. They're very small, very tiny. You don't need great vision to hunt seagrass. And you can see they have a little kind of nictitating membrane or eyelid there. And but they also have a sphincter muscle. And yes, I'm not making any of those jokes. It's a muscle that sort of closes the eye like a little telescoping muscle. So that's how they sort of blink and protect their eyes. And here you are getting out of the water.
Yes. This is the end of the manatee swim, which was amazing.
Fantastic.
It was fantastic, but I was getting cold, so it was time to get out.
Forgot to point out the manatee toenails. If you missed those, go back and watch. Manatees have toenails. They also have very dense bones that helps to keep them a little more negatively buoyant so they don't float too much. And manatees have been around a long time. One of the fossils you find in Florida are manatee rib bones. Fossils of manatee ribs.
Huh.
You can see our boat here. It's just a little kind of pontoon type boat. A little bigger than an average pontoon. I suspect this boat probably holds, 15 people or something. Here I come, getting out of the water. You can see Mallory and Andrew still in there and our guide. Getting out of the water, not a fun experience. Because now you feel the full brunt of the cold.
How was it, Matt?
It was awesome.
I'm going to film them getting out, too.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh, you got it.
I got it. All right, and Andrew's turn to get out of the water. How was it?
That's awesome.
Did you see any manatees?
Yeah, a few.
I think he enjoyed himself.
Yeah.
And we know this one enjoyed herself.
Were you trying not to get filmed?
Yeah, look at watch the water quality. Let's do.
We had people
So how was it?
Three Sisters Spring.
Amazing.
They came over here.
They are so
I only
cool
think
and
about
friendly,
Three
and
Sisters this morning. They're like,
they're even more
they're
peaceful
just
than
like-
sea turtles, I
like
think.
10
And
of them
I
in
didn't think
the
that was
sanctuary.
possible. So
I'm pretty sure this footage is going to be shaky because my hand is
oh, you're so cold.
All right, so we finished our manatee swim, and it's now 43 degrees, which is a few degrees warmer than it was.
more?
A few temperatures. My face isn't fully, my mouth isn't working. Completely just freezing shut.
Can you feel it?
No.
Am I even touching it?
I got kissed by a manatee. Like, straight up, like, kissed on the cheek.
Are you going to leave me now?
I don't know. It was pretty cute.
Wow. Okay.
Just don't kiss this cheek, because it was the manatee kiss, so you can kiss this cheek.
Oh, because you want to savor that one
Yeah,
forever?
I'm never going to wash my face again.
This is all you.
I lost my snorkel.
Oh, Mallory.
This kind man tried to help and find it, but it fell right off, but that's okay. I needed a new one anyways.
Yeah, I tried to convince her to buy one like mine, so now she has to.
Yeah, I do.
So before we close out this video, I just wanted to show you guys where we stayed. This is the Port Hotel and Marina in Crystal River, and it is the best hotel I think I've stayed at. It's a little dated, like the look of it, but that kind of adds some flavor and character to it. Everything was clean, everything was great, the staff was great, and this is the view from our balcony. Let me zoom in out there so you can see it. This is the view, which is basically that is King Spring out there, and that's where we swam. That's like actually where we went to swim with the manatees. So it's really close. Now in the past, I have always stayed at the Plantation Inn, which is way down that way, and it's a much swankier hotel, and it's also a lot more expensive. I like this one better. So great experience. It's also got on the grounds, it has a little restaurant and bar. If you can see it, there's the manatee boat down there poking its head out from around the side. So just a really cool place to stay.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the bell so you are notified when new videos come out on Fintastic Studios.